Hi guys, welcome to Manhood Explained. Today is 16th of January 2020. My name is Camille and I want to welcome you in live number 20, where I watched Passengers with my wife today. This is the movie with Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt. If you haven't seen it, it's the 2016 movie. And the premise of it all, I promise I'm not going to spoil it. If you want to watch it, I think it's worth watching. But the premise of the movie is that there's a ship. It holds like more than 5,000 people. It's sent from Earth to some other planet in somewhere there in space, and the whole mission is to send it to another planet that they found, and they want to start a colony or something like this. And it's supposed to take 120 years from Earth to get to that planet. And somewhere in the midst of all this trip, like 30 years after it's all started, two people are woken up from the hibernation, and basically, without spoiling the whole movie, they're kind of they are there, and they're aware that they won't be able to go back to hibernation, that they're gonna spend their life on this ship being alone, just two of them, and that they're gonna probably die before the ship will reach the destination. And obviously this is like a romantic flick and some action. I really like it, so just watch it if you haven't. But we watched that video, that movie, and when it all finished, I just sit there, look at my wife, and I asked myself without saying anything out loud. I asked myself, how would you feel? What would be your yeah, exactly, how would you feel if you know that you will have to spend the rest of your life, you're not able to do anything, so you will have to spend the rest of your life with this girl on that kind of ship, flying in space, completely alienated from everybody else? And you know what I thought? That would be awesome. I completely see myself and us in this kind of situation. And you were just like, what you saying? You see, we are together for 18 years as a marriage. But for the last, I don't know how many years, we're so happy with each other. It's so common for us to spend so many hours, talking about life, about everything that interests us. So maybe she's cooking and I'm just sitting there and talking to her. Maybe she's taking bath. Maybe we're just sitting on a sofa. Maybe we went for a coffee or to the restaurant, and we constantly talk. And there's never end to the subjects that we could talk about. And that's why I thought about it, and I said, this is amazing, because I'm in extremely happy relationship. But then I thought about this subject I want to talk about in today's life, and I thought, how many of you have the same kind of feeling? How many of you will have the same reaction to this kind of dilemma? And I thought, probably not many, because unfortunately, not many of you are in happy relationships. Not many of you are really understand what does it mean to be in a happy long-term relationship. And I wanted to talk about how to get there, how to find yourself in an extremely happy relationship. And there are two things you need to do. First is very important. It's like the most important of it all. You as a guy, you have to know what exactly do you want from your girl. What is the must-have that she has to have or be for you to be happy? Because look, if you want to travel the world and your girl wants to have tons of kids and have a huge home, it's not gonna work. If that's kind of contrary, if you want to have a home with kids and maybe you want to have a ranch and tons of cows and horses, and she wants to travel the world, have a career, or teach, or do something, train some corporate people around the world, yeah, I don't think it's gonna work. So you see, you need to know what is exactly that you want from her. Because in my case, it was, as I told you before in the lives before, what I wanted from my girl was to be the most intelligent girl around. And that was one. And second, the most spiritual one. And it comes very close together if you really think about it. But I found it. And that's why now when we're spending time together, we're just on the same page over and over all the time. Because I always like to see the world, try to understand what's going on, go deep and grind through all of this. And now when I found a girl who thinks the same way, there's like endless stream of this chemistry, endless. We constantly are on the same page. We constantly have something to talk about because we think the same way and we enjoy the same thing. So that's why the first thing that I want you to do is to figure it out and just make a list. What is one or two major things that she must have, must be, and then what is the rest of it? Do you want her to be tall or short? Do you want her to be blonde or brunette? Does she supposed to be like sport oriented or maybe creative one? Maybe she needs to be a musician. You get what I'm saying? Because first of all, just you need to understand that it has to be something more than just her looks or her body, because maybe she's the most beautiful girl right now, but in 10-15 years she won't be. And then what you gonna do? You see what I'm saying? Go much deeper and really understand what do you want from her. And second, it's gonna something interesting will happen. Just like when you're buying a phone, you bought a new phone, you're so proud of it, and then you start to see that Jack has the same phone, and Danny and Jennifer. Then you start to see that so many other people have the same phone, and then you start to see the things that you didn't saw before. And the same thing will happen with your list. If you exactly know what you want, you'll start to see potential people or girls that kind of match the description. And then second thing, which is amazing, that will happen, you'll be introspective. You'll be the guy who knows what you want. And second, you'll be able to talk about it. But we're gonna get there. But it's like, if you'll be this kind of guy who knows what you want, then what would be the problem to kind of get their attention? But that's exactly what they want. And going back to be able to talk about it, look, the second thing I want you to do is I want you to tell her about it. If you see that your girl is not the game it's not the girl from the picture, because you see, and this is one of the examples how it works with my wife. I told her after watching this video and thinking about a little bit about this life, I asked her, what do you think about this idea? And she said, I'm completely on board. Why? Because you guys, many times you don't see how we think. Because we are having completely different lens than you on life. Because if girl wants to have family, she has a short time span to do so. Exactly, if exactly the same with career. If she wants to make a move and make a career in her life, she'll have a short time span to do so. So if you're just there in your relationship and you don't really know what do you want, and you kind of mess around for 5 years, and then after 5 years you tell her, listen, I don't think it's going to work because I want something different, then you wasted her 5 years of life to have a family or to make a career or do anything that she wants from life, which she is constrained with time. So that's why, out of respect to her, tell her, listen, I thought about what I want in life, and I want ABC. What do you think about it? Are we able to kind of figure out, do something about it? Because you've got to understand, I'm the last guy that will push you towards breaking a relationship. I would rather want you to figure it out how to make it work. But if you see that it's completely opposite, maybe you have to think, maybe it's not the relationship for you. Because you've got to understand that you being able to know what you want and then being able to talk about is exactly what girls want. And then you'll start to see, the potential ladies there. Then you'll be the guy who knows what he wants and is able to talk about it. So if you know how to talk about what you think, you'll be able to talk about how you feel. So it's like 95% of the girls would want you, because you're exactly what most of them want. And then you'll start to see that that's how you'll be able to get one that it's close to the recipe that you had written. And then you'll be able to kind of find yourself in a relationship that you will be really happy in. So, the thing that I want to take from this video, figure out what do you really want and to do something about it. Because that's the only way for you to become the guy who really gets it. Second, that's the only way for you to be able to be the guy who had no issues flying with your girl, in space and spend the rest of your life with her. And three, finally, you will understand by experiencing it what does it mean to find yourself in extremely happy relationship. Think about it and see you tomorrow.